salad doesn't have to be a sloppy, mayonnaise-y affair that you get from the deli counter that's full of starches and trans fats. In fact, it can be a very healthy and well-rounded meal that's not only pleasing to the palate, but extremely filling as well. Today, you're going to learn exactly how to make potato salad, along with how to make homemade mayonnaise, how to properly hard-boil an egg, and how to cut things like potatoes and onions very quickly and efficiently. Let's get started. First off, we start with some potatoes. Now I'm using Yukon Gold here because the meat of the potato is so buttery and rich, and it doesn't have any meal to it at all, along with a very thin skin that is not noticeable, yet you still get all of the wonderful nutrients and vitamins that come with eating both the skin and the meat of the potato. Next, I have some farm fresh eggs, some scallions, also known as green onions, homemade fermented pickles. We're going to be using the juice and the pickle, some yellow mustard. I have store-bought organic yellow mustard here. You can use any mustard that you like. I just like the flavor of yellow mustard in potato salad. Some homemade mayonnaise, freshly cut dill. You may also use dried, natural sea salt, and freshly ground pepper. Now, of course, we want to start by thoroughly washing and scrubbing our potatoes, especially since we are eating them with the skin on. Now, one of the most important things to keep in mind whenever you are cutting any fruit or vegetable that's round is that it's really unsafe to cut things that are round. They're wobbly, you can't control them. It's best to make sure that your first cut makes it so that you have a flat surface to work with. It's just so much safer, and it's much more efficient and quick. I can get through this dicing these potatoes very quickly when I have a flat surface that I can control. Now, I do dice these ahead of time. Some people just boil the whole potato and then deal with it afterwards. However, I find that it not only cooks more quickly, more evenly, but also it just cuts down on time and allows the potato to cool more quickly as well. Now, whenever you are working with potatoes, you want to make sure that there are no green spots. Any green spots are actually toxic and should be cut out and not ingested, as well as any brown spots, you know, that nobody wants to eat. Now, potatoes have gotten a pretty bad rap over the years, mostly because we're making things like French fries and chips out of them. And actually, potatoes, especially when you eat them with the skin on, are an extremely healthy food. They're very high in vitamin C, B6, potassium, manganese, and they also contain some antioxidants and phytonutrients, which you can't find just anywhere. In fact, some of the red potatoes have an antioxidant that is only found in the goji berry. You can't get it anywhere else. So I'm just going to keep dicing my potatoes, and it really doesn't take long, into about bite-sized, a little bit bigger than bite-sized pieces because they do fall apart a bit. And that only took me a minute or two. There you have it. I'm going to add these to a pan and cover them with water and let them boil until they are fork tender. Once your potatoes have started boiling and scum has formed on top, you want to just take that and skim it off, just because if you don't and you take this, pour it out into a colander, all this foam sticks to the potatoes and it's just kind of unsightly, and you don't want any foamy texture in your potatoes. Now, the other trick to making your potatoes very flavorful and just really perfect throughout is to add about a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of salt to the boiling water. Now, you want to do this after the water has started boiling, and then just give it a little stir there. Okay, my potatoes are fork tender. Now I'm going to drain them in a colander, and while they're still hot, I'm going to put them into a bowl, and then I'm going to show you the trick to making your potato salad stand out from the crowd. Okay, I have drained my hot potatoes in a colander, and now those potatoes are in a bowl and they're still warm. And this is when we can infuse them with the secret ingredient, which is pickle juice. So I have some lovely probiotic rich fermented pickles here, and I'm going to use some of the juice, which will help digest the starches and carbohydrates naturally occurring in the potato by adding some of that pickle juice right to the potatoes, the warm potatoes, and it's going to infuse the potatoes with the lovely flavor of the pickle juice. Okay, while my potatoes are cooling, I'm going to show you how I hard boil or hard cook eggs. First, I add them to a pan in one single layer. There should not be one on top of another. And then I'm going to cover them with about 1 inch of cold water. Next, I'm going to turn them on high heat, uncovered, until they start to boil. The term hard boiled is actually a misnomer. When you hard boil an egg, it makes the white rather tough and an unsightly kind of greenish ring around the yolks. So what we really want to do is actually just steep our eggs in very hot water. So I bring my water up to a boil, and then I turn off the heat. I cover the pan while leaving it on the burner, and then I'm going to set my timer for about 12 minutes is what I find works for just every size of egg. Okay, my eggs have been steeping for 12 minutes, and now I am going to simply take the eggs from the hot water and add them to ice water. Alternately, you can just put the pan in the sink and run it under cold water until the eggs cool down. However, this way is just fast and easy. Okay, my eggs have been sitting in the ice water for about 5 minutes, and now I'm going to crack and peel them. Now, one of the tricks to getting an egg to peel easily is to peel it within, 5 or 10 minutes of it coming out of that ice water bath. Another thing that works is to have older eggs, of course. However, if you have chickens like me, that isn't always an option. So this is one of my farm fresh eggs, and of course it is newer and it's being stubborn. So when this happens, I don't want to lose all my egg, and it really doesn't matter if the egg is pretty in my potato salad. So I'll just use a spoon, and sometimes I'll just even cut them right in half so that, let me show you how I do that, so that I can just spoon it out anyway. Okay, look at the yolk on that. Isn't that beautiful? There's no ring around it. It's absolutely perfect. Okay, let me take my spoon and I'll just go around the edges. Take that whole egg right out with a spoon and then go back for any leftovers. Once again, it doesn't have to be pretty for potato salad. Okay, I have rinsed off my eggs and they are sitting in a paper towel just to get any last little bits of water off of them. And now I'm going to use my handy dandy egg slicer to just simply slice those eggs right into the potatoes. My potatoes are completely cooled now, so they won't cook those eggs any further. Again, this is a great thing to have little hands help you with. This egg slicer is tons of fun in my daughter's opinion, and you just simply do it one way and you can leave it like that, or if you want a little bit smaller, just turn it the other way. It's that quick and simple. Our list of ingredients in order that they must be put in the blending cup is a room temperature egg. Now this egg must not be cold. It will not emulsify properly with the oil if it's cold, so it must be at room temperature. The juice of about half of a lemon or a little bit less depending on your tastes. The clove of 1 garlic. About a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. I have avocado oil here, again at room temperature. You can use any oil you want, including olive oil. However, I find that I like the very mild taste of avocado, and it really doesn't have any avocado-y taste at all. It's extremely mild. Here I have some sea salt. And then to make it last longer in the fridge, up to about 3 weeks even, is a little probiotic capsule that I simply open up and dump into the mayonnaise and blend it up at the very end. Okay, first I'm going to add my egg. Now, you can use a little contraption like this to juice your lemon and make sure that the seeds don't go through. I often use that. However, I often use my hands too and just let it catch the seeds right in the palm of my hand while the juice goes through. No fancy tools needed. My garlic clove. And now I'm going to add just about half of my oil on top. Okay, we're going to blend it up using the immersion blender here. Now you want to keep in mind that you want to give your immersion blender a rest after about every minute. You're not supposed to run an immersion blender for more than 1 minute at a time or it will burn it out. Okay, look how thick and creamy this is getting. It's still runny. This is more like an aioli sauce instead of a mayonnaise. So I'm going to keep adding oil, tablespoon or 2 at a time. I don't have to drizzle it in like I do with a food processor or even my Vitamix. I just simply pour it over the top, and the immersion blender grabs a little bit at a time and sucks it under. And so that's the reason why I really don't have to drizzle when making it with an immersion blender. Okay, my mayonnaise is getting to a nice thick consistency. I'm going to add my mustard, which I could have added at the beginning, but I'm going to add it now, along with some salt, and I'll continue to taste this and add salt as it's needed. Okay, my mayonnaise is nice and thick. Keep in mind it will thicken up more in the fridge. I'm going to add that probiotic capsule. Just open it up and empty the contents in and blend it up. Okay, my mayonnaise has thickened up beautifully. It's going to thicken up even more in the fridge. Now I'm going to put it in my little glass container and put it in the fridge and let it cool down, because it gets a little bit warm in this with all this blending. And then we're going to use it in our potato salad. Okay, I've got all of my various components for my potato salad together and cooled down, and now I'm just going to throw it together in a bowl and mix it up and let it sit overnight and take to my potluck tomorrow. I'm going to add these wonderful dill pickles, my green onions, dill. And then one of the secrets to a really good potato salad, in my opinion, is some mustard, and a lot of mustard. And we've got our beautiful mayonnaise here. I'm just going to gently mix this all up, adding more mustard or more mayonnaise to suit my own tastes. Now, one thing I want you to realize when you're making this potato salad is you watch the whole video and you think, oh man, that's a lot of work. But the truth is that you can easily boil the potatoes and eggs at the same time, and while those are boiling, you can quickly whip your mayonnaise together and then just let them cool in the fridge and then bring them together when you have some extra time. It doesn't have to be right away. You can make the potatoes and eggs and mayonnaise on a completely different day than when you put it all together. That is one of the reasons I love potato salad, because it's very flexible and it lasts a good week in the fridge. I often make extra whenever I'm making it for a potluck. I double the recipe and I make enough so that we can have it for our lunches or as a side dish to dinners all week long. Oh, I cannot wait to taste this. Oh, this looks absolutely divine. Yum. Let's add a little bit of black pepper to the top. I love black pepper. And my favorite part of the show, the taste test. Got to get some of the egg and the pickles in there along with the potato and onion. Those potatoes are so buttery and rich. Once these flavors have time to socialize together in the fridge, this is going to be absolutely perfect. Yum. Whether you're taking this to your next family reunion, church potluck, or just getting together with friends and family, you better bring the recipe with you because everyone is going to want this. To your health.